Overlanding West Africa had been on my mind for a while now. The idea of crossing an entire continent by land, uncovering hidden gems that few have ever seen. And now that dream was becoming a reality. This is episode 1 of an epic 4-month journey to make it happen. I had no idea what to expect or what lay ahead, but today we're stepping aboard the big yellow truck with Oasis Overland for the first time. Our journey begins as we leave Cape Town in the rearview and head straight to Stellenbosch, Africa's famed wine region. And here's how it went. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to Cape Town, South Africa. If you guys have been following the channel the last few months, you guys know I'm doing a big West Africa trip this year. And I started the year off in Algeria, and I've been working my way down the west coast of West Africa to Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, and Guinea-Bissau. And I've spent the last month here in Cape Town, one of the most beautiful cities in the world here. You have the incredible Table Mountain and Lion's Head. You have these incredible beaches all along the coast. And it's been one of the best months just hanging out here and preparing for my next expedition, which actually starts tomorrow morning when I'm going to be jumping on a big overland truck with Oasis Overland. And they do a lot of overland expeditions all over the world, but this one that I'm going to be jumping on is going to go up the west coast of Africa. So I'm going to be spending the next 3 months on this big yellow overland truck, going from here, Cape Town, one of the southernmost points in Africa, all the way up to Accra, Ghana, and then maybe a little further up the west coast to complete my whole West Africa map this year. So yeah, very excited to go on this expedition. West Africa, to be quite honest with you, has been quite the logistical challenge, trying to figure out visas and transportation and logistics. And so to be going on an overland expedition here with a group, we'll be able to figure out a lot of the logistics together, including the visas and then the transportation. And we're going to be doing a lot of camping all the way up the west coast of Africa here and be knocking off a lot of West African countries along the way. So again, starting here in South Africa, we're going to be working our way up the west coast here, heading to Namibia, then Angola, the DRC, Congo, up to Cameroon, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, and then Ghana. And then again, might be going a little bit further up the west coast there. But it's going to be quite the expedition, and I have no idea what to expect. There's going to be a lot of unknowns here as we're working our way up these places that very few travelers have ever been. So I'm very excited to have this opportunity to go up the west coast of Africa and take you guys along and show you guys what we see along the way. So very early tomorrow morning at about 7 or 8, we're going to be loading up the big yellow truck. That's going to start by heading up the west coast of South Africa here. And again, this is all new to me too, and I have no idea what to expect, but I'm looking forward to just giving you guys little chapters of this overland expedition, seeing some really remote places of Africa and showing you guys what this expedition is like. So yeah, I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning when we load up the truck, and then we'll start our trip by heading up the west coast of South Africa here. So we'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Cape Town. Today is the day that we are embarking on our Oasis Overland expedition up the west coast of Africa, and we're just getting introduced to our big yellow truck that's going to be taking us thousands and thousands of miles up the coast here, all the way from Cape Town to Ghana. And so it's about 7:30, and we're just loading all of our stuff up onto the truck. We're going to get a little briefing on how the truck is going to be working and getting our little cubbies where we're going to be storing a lot of our stuff. And yeah, just very excited to finally see this big yellow truck in person, because I've been planning this trip for a few months here and to be able to see it and to be able to meet the group. We're going to have about 8 of us that are joining the expedition from here in Cape Town all the way up to Ghana, and then we're going to be getting a rough itinerary of the next month or so of travel up the west coast of Africa. But the first few days here we're going to be staying in South Africa, working our way up the west coast, and I know today our target destination is Stellenbosch, which is just about an hour or 2 away. So yeah, let's head in the truck and get our little intro briefing, and then eventually we'll be hitting the road.
Well, miss, I guess I'll be on my way now. You just give me a...
Alright guys, we have just done the first little leg of our expedition, and today is a very soft entry into our overland trip. We only had about an hour and a half drive out to the beautiful wine valley and region of Stellenbosch here, and we're actually starting our first night in a little hostel, so we still have a real bed before we're camping. And so we have a completely free day. We're going to start by getting a little tour of the truck and like just the rig that we're going to be taking across Africa. So yeah, let's check out the truck a little bit and then we'll figure out what we're doing with our free day. We have just had a little bit of a tour of our overland truck here. We were able to see the interior and some of like the storage space that's in there, and then we got a tour of the outside of the truck. Got to see how we're going to be doing a lot of our kitchen setups and our camping setups. And again, tonight we have a nice cushy stay here at a guest house in Stellenbosch, and it's only about 11 in the morning here, and we have the rest of the day free to kind of do what we want. There's an opportunity to go wine tasting later in the afternoon and also go around to some shops and get some last minute supplies, seeing some of the stuff that we might need for the overland expedition now that we've seen the truck. So yeah, gonna be a chill afternoon. I might show you guys a little bit of the town of Stellenbosch here, and then might head out to a winery later this afternoon with just these beautiful mountains and these rolling vineyard hills here. So yeah, let's walk around town a little bit. I've just gone on a really quick walk through the adorable little town of Stellenbosch here, picking up some supplies for our trip. And this is the second oldest town in South Africa, settled in 1679 by the Cape Dutch, and you just have these beautiful old white architecture, and then you just have these beautiful mountains that surround the Stellenbosch Valley here. And this valley is also known as one of the most famous wine regions here in the Western Cape, so we're surrounded by glowing green vineyards. Since we have a free afternoon here in Stellenbosch, I'm going to go with a few of the people from my tour, and we're going to go check out a few of the wineries in the Stellenbosch region here and try some of the wine before we head out of the Cape Town region. So yeah, let's jump in a taxi, check out some of the wineries. just driven about 15 minutes out of the little town of Stellenbosch here, and we've come to Waterford Estate. And as you're approaching this building, you're just driving through all of these rows of actually clementine and lemon trees, but just has this beautiful view heading towards the estate. And you have some of the Stellenbosch mountains off in the distance there. And then inside there's a nice little courtyard with this fountain, and I've just ordered a wine pairing with chocolate, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. Yeah, let's head in this cute little courtyard and try some of the wines from Waterford Estate. So we have just finished up our wine tasting this afternoon in Stellenbosch, and we ended up just hanging out here at the Waterford Estate. Just beautiful little courtyard and beautiful setting, and really fun to do the tasting of those wines paired with the chocolates. And again, this feels like a very soft opening to our overland expedition. I doubt most days will be this fancy or this exquisite, like doing wine tasting in this beautiful region here, because again, a lot of this trip is going to be a lot of really rough camping and a lot of bush camping and very extreme road conditions. And so it's been kind of nice to just start the trip off here, getting to know a little bit of the group with a wine tasting excursion this afternoon. So yeah, that's about it for Stellenbosch. We're going to go back. We have an early morning tomorrow at about 8 a.m. We're going to jump back on the truck, and we're going to have about a 5 or 6 hour drive to our next campsite. And tomorrow will be the first night where we're going to try out the tents and try out the whole camping setup of our overland vehicle. So yeah, beautiful views here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.